All right, strap in everyone, because we are going deep on this Overwatch 2 mid-season update. There's just so much packed in. We got to make sure you don't miss a single thing. So we've got some blasts from the past, like the Moth meta making a return. We've got a new spin on that classic 6v6 format to play around with. And oh, Ashe's new Mythic skin. You just got to see this thing. And don't forget, Lunar New Year and Valentine's Day events coming up. Oh, and one last push for those competitive points in Season 14.
Yeah, it's a lot to cover.
It is. So let's start by rewinding the clock a bit. Overwatch Classic, Moth Meta is back. It's live February 4th to the 17th, taking us all the way back to September 2017. Anyone who wasn't around back then, this was peak Mercy, just Mercy Mania. Her resurrectability was so strong, it completely changed how the game was played.
Oh yeah, it was a whole different game. Back then, Mercy's resurrect was so much faster. She'd bring back like the whole team almost instantly. So team fights, they weren't just about taking out the enemy anymore. It was all about using those mass resurrections or stopping them.
So less about just firepower and more about using resurrections to control how the fight went.
Exactly. And it led to some pretty wild strategies, like dive comp. You know, super mobile heroes like Tracer and Genji are just bursting down key targets. It became so popular because they could, you know, hit hard and fast in those moments before Mercy could react.
Oh, I bet that was chaos. A good resurrect at the right time could just turn a whole match around, right?
Oh, absolutely. But it also meant teams had to get creative on defense. Focus Mercy was like the call out everyone was making. If you could take her out before she used her ult, you could turn things around.
Sounds intense. What do you think, how will the Moth meta play in today's Overwatch 2? With all the hero changes and role queue?
That's the big question, isn't it? The game's changed a lot since 2017. We've got new supports like Baptiste and Brigitte. They offer some different ways to counter those Mercy resurrections. And with role queue locking teams in, we might not see that same level of flexibility the original Moth meta had.
Like a time capsule smashing into the present. I'm really curious to see how players adapt those old strategies to the new game.
Me too. And for newer players, it's a chance to, you know, experience a bit of Overwatch history, see how the game has evolved.
Speaking of evolution, this mid-season update's got a new experimental mode too. 66 min 1, max 3. It's going back to that original 6v6, but with a twist.
Yeah, the big thing here is balance. You gotta have at least one tank, one damage, and one support hero. But you can't have more than 3 of any one role.
So you can do the classic 2-2-2, but you could also try something different, like 3 damage heroes, 1 tank, and 2 supports.
Exactly. Lots of possibilities. And to make things more interesting, you can actually swap roles in the spawn room. Adds a whole new layer of strategy.
What do you think this mode means for Overwatch 2's future? Is this a sign of things to come, or just a fun experiment?
Well, it's definitely a way for players to have fun and experiment with team comps, but it's also a chance for the devs to see how these less conventional setups work. You know, get some data and feedback in a live setting.
Like a huge community playtest that could shape the game. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. They're really listening to player feedback. And this is a direct way for us to, you know, help shape Overwatch 2.
All right, let's take a break from the gameplay for a minute and talk about something that's really caught everyone's eye. Ashe's new mythic skin, the Lead Rose. I mean, this thing is just stunning.
Yeah, it's a real showstopper. And you know what's great about these mythic skins? They're not just one look, they change as you play.
Right. So walk us through the levels. What makes this skin so special?
Well, even the base mythic weapon at level 1 is amazing, but then at level 2 you get the reactive elements, the rose textures on the gun. They actually bloom and change as you play, reacting to your eliminations.
Hold on, so the roses bloom when you get kills. That's awesome. What else is there?
Level 3, you get a taunting flourish for Ashe. After she takes down an enemy, she just casually tosses a rose at them. It's a small thing, but it adds so much personality.
Like a little mic drop moment for Ashe. Okay, so what's the big finale at level 4?
Level 4 is where it gets really spectacular. You get a petal-burst kill effect, so instead of just, you know, eliminating enemies, Ashe showers them in rose petals. Beautiful and deadly, just like her.
Okay, gotta see this in action. Sounds incredibly stylish. They really put a lot of thought into this skin.
They did. And it shows how they're using cosmetics to tell stories in Overwatch too. Like, each level of this skin reflects Ashe's journey from rich heiress to leader of the Deadlock game. Adds a whole other layer to her character.
Speaking of celebrations, Lunar New Year is here. It's the year of the snake, and we've got the Mischief and Magic mode back. What can you tell us about it?
Oh, this mode is just pure chaos and fun. Basically hide and seek. One team, the rogues, they disguise themselves as props to blend in. The other team, the knights, gotta find and eliminate them before time runs out.
Sounds like a hilarious game of cat and mouse.
Yeah.
kind of abilities do those rogues have to help them hide?
Oh, they've got some tricks. They can climb walls, double jump, even use like playful voice lines to taunt the knights. The knights, on the other hand, they gotta rely on their eyes and detective skills.
Sounds like a blast. Any other Lunar New Year events going on?
Absolutely. Capture the Flag and Bounty Hunter are back, both with a Lunar New Year twist. And of course, you've got those event challenges. Gotta complete those for the Lunar New Year cosmetics.
So something for everyone to enjoy during the festivities. But for those who prefer love over mischief, Valentine's Day is right around the corner too. What do we get to look forward to this year?
Love is in the air, and so are Hanzo's arrows. The Love of Geometry mode is back. It's as chaotic as ever, 4v4 team deathmatch, all Cupid Hanzos. But here's the twist. They all have his original scatter arrow ability.
Wait, Scatter Arrow, is it back? That's a blast from the past. For those who don't know, what makes Scatter Arrow so unique?
Scatter arrow was all about those unpredictable ricochets. You could fire an arrow at a wall, it would split into multiple projectiles, bouncing off surfaces, catching enemies off guard. It was a high skill, high reward ability. It's gonna lead to some crazy moments in this mode.
Players better be ready for some serious arrow mayhem. Okay, now let's talk about something a bit more serious. Season 14 is ending. And for anyone still grinding those competitive ranks, this is your last chance.
That's right. And to help you reach your goals, we've got Season 14 drives from February 11th to 16th. Every match you play will earn you double competitive points.
Double points. So are we talking like a potential 6,000 competitive points?
You got it. Huge opportunity to rack up those points. And grab those exclusive rewards, like the Jade weapon skins. They're only available for a limited time, so don't miss out.
Okay, so prioritize competitive, aim for those 6,000 points, and get those Jade weapon skins. Got it. Now, what about Maximilian's Vault? Sounds like a great way to get some deals on skins, but how does it actually work?
The Vault is all about personalization. It looks at your in-game stats, sees which heroes you play most, your playstyle, then it picks out a bunch of skins just for you. Offers discounts on the heroes you actually use.
So it's like a personal shopper for your Overwatch wardrobe.
Exactly. Takes the guesswork out of browsing the shop, helps you build a collection that, reflects how you play. Plus, it's a good way to find new skins you might not have considered before.
I love that it's tailored to individual play styles.
Yeah.
Makes the whole shopping experience more fun and rewarding. And speaking of rewarding, this whole mid-season update has been fantastic. We've got that taste of the past with the Moth meta, a little peek into the future with the 6v6 min 1 max 3 mode, and all that Lunar New Year and Valentine's Day fun.
It's been a wild ride. And I think it's clear the devs aren't slowing down. They're really listening to what players are saying, trying new things, pushing the limits of what Overwatch 2 can be.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Overwatch 2's mid-season madness, what's the one big thing you want our listeners to take away?
I think the biggest thing is Overwatch 2 is always changing. The devs are committed to making it a dynamic, engaging experience, and they want us, the players, to be part of shaping its future. So whether you're a veteran or just starting out, jump in, experiment, have fun, and make your voice heard. Your feedback matters.
Well said. So to all our listeners out there, thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Get out there, explore everything this update has to offer, and we'll catch you in the next one.